We're gonna get started here. I am recovering from being sick, so no face cam today, and my voice might be a little off. Hopefully I won't cough too much into your guys' ear. I'll try and avoid that if I can, but I might not be able to help it too much. Okay, let's go ahead and get started here. I have to remember where we left off. It's been a little while. As I said, I was sick. Last stream I did would have been Sunday. And then pretty much on Monday I got really sick, and then I've been recovering since, and I'm more or less back to being okay. I just have a little bit of side effects of having a little bit of a funky voice and still some coughing and what have you, but more or less I am doing all right for the most part. Okay, so we just got the Warhammer. Yeah, okay. So I think I have some pretty serious damage to repair. Yeah, my Grasshopper lost both its arms. The Thunderbolt's not doing so bad. The Quickdraw lost a leg, but otherwise seems fine. Kintara lost a weapon system. What did it lose? It lost a medium laser, so in the grand scheme of things, not that bad. And then the Warhammer, well, it didn't come with anything, so we are just going to have to equip it. Hey, Ursi. Okay, so where are we? Alright, I am in an industrial zone. I have a decent amount of money. Let's see what's all here. I probably sold the assassin, at least one of them. We have an enforcer, a hunchback, a generator. Oh, okay, it's this system. It's the one that has the Zeus, the Orion, and the Marauder. And where I left off, now that I remember where I am, we were considering possibly buying the Marauder because the price had dropped dramatically on it. But now that we have the Warhammer that we more or less got for free, I don't think we're going to do that. So let's go to more or less repairing our mechs and equipping them. So Thunderbolt, nice and easy, just repair it and it's ready. Quick Draw, same thing. This one took quite a bit more damage because of the leg being out, but no serious systems were lost, at least nothing it claimed. Yeah, normally it would have jump jets in those legs, and the jump jets we've removed, so it didn't lose any systems. At least, I don't think it did. I'm going off the icons that they're giving me, and I'm hoping that that gives me what... Yeah, see, it says single heatsink there, so it didn't say that with the quick draw, so I assume that it didn't lose any critical systems. So this is going to be a little bit more involved. We lost a couple medium lasers. I've lost arms. I mean, arms get lost fairly frequently in this game. I don't have very many of these quality 2 medium lasers, so I'm probably just going to replace them with quality 1, as those are a lot easier to come by, and I have quite a lot of them. So we're just going to more or less put this thing back the way it was, except for just a reduction of quality, slight reduction of quality. Okay, and then we need that unit to go over there. Okay. And then repair all to get those arms back. And the armor back. Okay, so this is going to take 33 days, unfortunately a long time. And I expect the work we're going to do on the Warhammer to also take quite a long time because we have to give it every weapon system. And from what I've seen of the game so far, weapon systems seemingly take a lot of time. Okay, so we do have one medium laser, quality 2, that was destroyed in this arm, and one that was damaged. As we see, things in arms tend to go bye-bye. Thankfully we didn't lose the LRM-5, which is relatively high quality. The SRM-6 is not, because we haven't had very many opportunities to get high quality SRM-6s. This is the best quality one we have. I do have one quality 2 medium laser, and I guess we could use it here. Yeah, no, I'll go with that. Even though it might just get damaged again. Then repair all that repairs the quality 2. So more or less we're good to go with that. That's 21 days. So what are we looking at? 3 mechs that are going to take 21 days or less, and then one that's going to take over 30 days, which is a little bit problematic. Now the Warhammer. Now I really do not know what we're going to be able to do with this thing. But I suspect not a whole lot. Let's actually get into Well, no, before I do that, let's paint it so I don't forget. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Copy. Paint mech. Okay. What paint scheme do we need to go with? Applejack. I usually don't like this one. I just don't think it has enough going for it. Buccaneer. Buccaneer can be cool, as long as it doesn't say pirate on it. But I think I've already used this paint scheme on another mech. Actually, it looks really nice on this, this mech. So this color would be tan, and this one would be white, and we have that stripey effect. I kind of like the red on this one. I almost like it the way it is. I might change the white, but that looks kind of cool. Well, let's see what else we got. We are already using Cobra on one mech, and it doesn't look all that exciting on this one. Crusader. One of these days, I'm gonna do my own like custom paint schemes rather than just go with what they've given you here. Well, Hot Rod would probably be appropriate for this mech, as it will probably overheat quite a lot. What else we got? Yeah, not really a big fan of this one because it's just too plain. This is your skeleton one. Polygon. Raider. Yeah, I'm not too excited about that one. So far, the pirate one looks the most interesting. Razzle Dazzle looks okay on this mech as well. Sherman. We have gotten rid of the mech that used to have the Sherman paint scheme, and I guess this one looks okay-ish. This just doesn't look good with our paint scheme. Because the blue would be white on ours, and it just looks like crap. Tiger, Urban Block, Vagabond. Virus also doesn't look good with our paint scheme. And then finally, Woodland. You know, Woodland doesn't look too bad on this mech, and I don't think we've used this paint scheme. We'll have to see how the colors come together. The real problem we have with this is the tertiary would be white, and if you look at this mech, a good chunk of it would be white, and it'd look like crap. So it looks okay now, but that's because it has the paint colors that it has. So I'm leaning towards Buccaneer. I just think it looks kind of cool. I don't know if we would want to change the colors beyond maybe just that white. I think I'm going to keep the red, because it looks good with the red, and I think that tan color would make it not look as cool as we'd like. Let's just stick with that for now. And then we'll grab the white. Because this, I think, will pop more than the white that they give you. Because this is more like a tannish off-white. And this is going to be a more solid white. There we go. So the question is the red, I think, is one of the reasons why this looks as cool as it does. And you get that red, white, and blue kind of effect. But I'm going to look at the tan. But what we can do here is, because I did it in that order, if I don't like the way the tan looks, I can undo it fairly easily, and keeping the other colors. So let's see what it looks like with the tan. If it looks not too bad. Hey, Pug. You know, honestly, it doesn't look that bad with the tan. You kind of get that same effect. Yeah, okay, I like it. As a matter of fact, I think the skulls here look better with the tan as the backer. Alright, we'll go with that. Now, I don't remember what mech I used to do the other one that had the pirate or buccaneer. No, it's not the Thunderbolt. It's possible we got rid of it. No, this was the other one, the trebuchet, but we don't use the trebuchet all that commonly anymore. It does look nice on this mech, though. I think the this paint scheme is one of the most interesting because it changes a lot from mech to mech. Like all the different things that you get. Like, for example, this skull here. If we go over to the Warhammer, we don't see that anywhere on this mech. I mean, we have a skull up there. Yeah, it's very interesting. There's also flames on the trebuchet, which we don't get on the Warhammer. Alright, in any case, let's go ahead and do the edit layout. Okay, so I'm not 100% sure what we're going to be able to do with this mech. And a lot of it is down to what kind of slots we have. So we do have ballistic slots, but they're of the small slot. So the best we could do would be an AC-2, which is pretty heavy. Normally, a machine gun goes in these slots. I think the easiest way to save ourselves tonnage would just to not put those machine guns in, because you've got 2 tons tied up into that. This is one of those situations where I kind of wish I had the manual. We do have these medium pulse lasers. Spending mouse bucks because you're rich. Yeah, that's a feature I haven't really looked too much into, so I don't know if I know too much about. That's the little pointy things you get. We don't really use PPCs much, and that's the normal loadout of a Warhammer. And we do have Quality 2 ones. We have 2 of them, so that wouldn't be too hard to do that. The real problem that a Warhammer has is it has very good damage output, but it has not the best armor for its weight. 70-ton mech. It's okay, but there are mechs that definitely have better armor, and we tend to favor that anyway with the mechs that we have. So the problem is going to be these small energy slots. The only thing I can fit in them is small lasers. I can't fit anything else. I don't think anything else goes in there. Medium pulse lasers would be an interesting idea. They'd be fairly well protected in the torso sections, but they're 2 tons versus 1 ton. I need a good comparison of a similar quality. I don't have any quality 3 medium lasers, at least I don't think so. So I wonder what the benefit of the medium pulse laser is. I haven't really used these too much. So I'm not really sure how they operate. We could put them in the Grasshopper instead. I'm not sure how we would fit them. Yeah, I'm not really 100% sure. Okay, one thing we could do, if I want to think about this, is I could use large lasers instead. Now, we're using a lot of large lasers, but instead of the PPC, you use maybe a Quality 2 large laser, because we have some of those. You use it as a filler mech. TPC is a good LRM for taking out copters and tanks. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense from a loadout standpoint. But if we wanted to use the medium pulse lasers, I'm not sure I do, but if I did, we could downgrade the PPCs to large lasers. It'd be the same quality level. We'd definitely sacrifice damage if we did that, and then we would put the medium pulse lasers in the medium slots. I'd probably be forced to use the small lasers. Not really sure what else I'd do there, unless I just don't install them. And we would be ahead 4 tons if I did that. So that'd be 4 tons we'd be able to put into armor. I don't know if we can fit that many tonnage of armor, but... Alright, I will decide on the weapon loadout. Let's figure out how many heat sinks normally go in this thing, because I don't know that offhand. I think it's 18 total, so 8 extra, but I don't know that for sure. Let's put some things that we think we're going to want to put in there, and then we'll kind of figure out if that's what we want. So, of what I have put in here, we also need, if we were going to do the default, and I don't know if I'm going to do that, but let's say we were going to do the default. So we know what kind of tonnage we're going to work with here, right? Because I'd like this to be relatively close to the same heat curve. So then we'd have 1 ton of SRM ammo. So that gives us... Yeah, I am right. It is 8 heat sinks if we were to do the default loadout. Okay. I'm going to assume 1 was here. I think I looked at this before we started, and I think 1 goes in the head. I don't know about the legs. There might be some that go in the legs. Let's assume that there is some that go in the legs. Okay, so we'd need 1 more heatsink to make this thing be the default. I'm not really sure about the placement of these things, but let's say we put one there. Or we could balance it by putting it over there. It doesn't really matter. This would be pretty close to the default. I don't know about the placement of where they are, but probably pretty close. You know, honestly, I think I'd rather have this in the center torso. Okay. So if that's what we did, I definitely would want to have a couple tons of armor. So let's start working on that and then see where we're at. Like, I'm noticing, definitely going to want to max out the arms. But there's not a lot of room to move in the arms. Torso section, definitely a lot of room to move. I think we could very easily apply these 2 tons, which I'm not too surprised about. Let's get the legs up to, I don't know, a respectable number. Let's say 40, especially if we're going to put this many heat sinks in them. Yeah, that's kind of like a trick you do with Battletech, the video game, is putting the ammo in the legs. But that's because of the way that the ammo explosions work. I'm not really sure. Somebody in chat in a previous time I streamed said you don't get as much of an advantage in this game, but I don't know, to be totally honest with you, what's the meta in this game versus Battletech. I'm much more familiar with Battletech. I have a lot more time in that game. Okay, well, let's keep going with the armor here. So, I'd like to have, like, maybe 40 here, 40 there. 16 is pretty respectable. I don't know if we really need to modify that too much. I think too much more than that, you're sacrificing a lot. So, let's get the left and right torso, I guess, just maxed out at 44, so it's going to be equivalent to what the arm holds. So we have a half a ton of armor left. I'd like to get the front armor here, the center torso frontal armor, up a little bit here. Maybe up to 50. Let's get those legs up a little bit as well. At least equal on parity with the rest of the stuff here. So we're maxed out on armor on the left and right side, except for the legs. The front armor could use a lot more. There we go. So, the way I'm looking at it, it's still a lot of damage output. So we're looking at 51.4 damage is what it's claiming. Or, I'm assuming I'm reading that correctly. It's kind of weird where it says 51.4 plus 51.4, but it should have been at 0 before. At least I would think so. Okay, so, well, there's one way to find out. Yeah, okay, that's correct. So, let's see what we can do with these medium pulse lasers, because I'm just curious. So we're going to do large lasers instead. And then medium pulse lasers, because we might actually have more tonnage here. I think we will. So we're at 50.4, so we lost 1 damage point, which is not a big deal. But we gained 2 tons of maybe extra armor. I don't know if we're going to be able to use all that. But I could also fit in another heatsink or something. You know, there's stuff I can do with that tonnage. I kind of like this loadout. I almost want to use the medium pulse lasers myself just to get more experience with them, because I don't have a lot of experience with medium pulse lasers, but I can always do that in the instant action to kind of get just a feel for it. Because I'm really dead set on that Grasshopper being my mainline mech, but who knows, maybe this one will jump into every so often as well. Yeah, I think I like this layout better. We could always change the SRM-6 as well, now that we have more tonnage. We change that to an LRM-10, probably. That would be the biggest we could fit. Looks like a quality 2 is as good as we have in that regard. I have the Artemis ammo, but the problem with these Artemis missile systems is they actually are heavier. That might not be a big deal because we have the extra tonnage. We do have the ammo that's appropriate for it, at least I'm pretty sure we do. Okay, well, our other option would be to take an LRM-10. I feel like we have a lot of LRM support, so I would be okay with using this. Alright, let's do that. I like the idea. It'll be a test bed for a couple different weapon systems that we haven't really had a lot of experience with yet. So the SRM and Artemis ammo, we're going to go ahead and put there. So that gives us a ton to work with, which is perfect for armor, I think. I don't know how heat efficient this thing is going to be. We're going to have to see. But let's go ahead and start getting some armor in this thing. So I'm going to go ahead, get that center torso up there a little bit. I'd like the legs to be at, like, I don't know, 48. I'm going to put a little bit into the head because it hasn't had too much in there. Okay. So let's keep going. 6. This up to 50. Go up to... I'm going to put a couple points in the rear. Why not? Go to 60 there. Got 8 more points to max that out. 50 in the legs is probably good enough. I mean, we have a lot of heat sinks in there. I definitely would want to protect those, but... Go 2 more points there. There. That'll do. I think this is pretty good. We're at 51.84, so we actually did increase the firepower. Now, if we had the machine guns in there, that would be changing it a little bit. Yeah, I like this one. Let's do the weapon groups. So, large lasers is 1. I'm perfectly fine with that. Medium pulse lasers is 2. I don't know how these operate, so I'm not sure if I'm going to chain fire them. These I'm definitely going to chain fire. Small laser as 3. Let's not have that as 3. Let's put those as 4. We'll have the SRM-6 as 3. And the small lasers probably don't need to be chained either, because they fire pretty quickly. So I'll keep those off of chain. I think this is the only thing that makes sense to chain. I don't know about these. These I had to have to see like what their fire rate is like to actually experience it myself. It's possible chain fire makes more sense, but we'll keep it as that for now. Honestly, I might use this in my next mission just to see where it's at. To see how good of a setup it is. How heat efficient is it? How do the weapons work? All that kind of stuff. What's the range we're talking about here? 360, 363, 708. Okay, and this is 297. Okay. All right. So we're talking about a little under 300 meters for a lot of the weapons, and then this is going to be pretty close range, 225. Okay. All right. Start work. We'll have to see how this guy does. I feel like this mech might be pretty exciting. I'm gonna have to see where its armor is after we do this, to see how it pairs up to the Grasshopper. And the Grasshopper is very well protected, so yeah, I'm very, very curious to see how that one works out. All right, so we've got a lot of time to kill. We also do have a decent amount of money. Let me just double check the market to make sure we're not missing out on any equipment or something. So, starting off in here, I really do need to check these more often to make sure we can get that Artemis LRM ammo, because we do have an Artemis system, but we don't have the ammo for it. And then just heat sinks, see if we can find some double heat sinks perhaps. But let's go to... Okay, so we got a Quality 3 AC-20. I do remember being tempted by that, but we don't have any mechs that can actually use it. So I'm just going to sit on that. Otherwise... yeah, nothing really jumps out at me at the moment. Energy weapons, they're all crap. Missile systems. We have a Quality 2 LRM-15. Yeah, I think we pass on a lot of this stuff, which is probably a determination I already made. Okay. So the question is, where are we going to go? We do not have any campaign objectives right now. We do have a... Wait, are we currently on a quest chain? Not that I'm aware of. Why is that one symbol yellow? Usually the yellow symbols indicate that it's a high reward contract, but it doesn't say so. And I don't think I'm on a quest chain. Well, this is only going to take 20 days to get to, I'm fairly certain. We could head over this way, because of how much time we have to burn. We could head over to Bora here, which is a high reward quest. I'd like to take a look at that. Unfortunately, we don't know what the objectives are, or like anything over here, because we're too far away. Yeah. So I think my game plan, we'll head over to Bora. We'll head down to New Weston, and then we'll head over to... Is New Weston the one that's... yeah, okay. Yeah, these two are level 8 threat, so... Definitely want to head down to here, but we'll focus on the high reward quests as well. So Bora is our first objective. Anything interesting along the way? Not that I'm aware of. I think we just jump over to... I'm going to have to kind of make a guess here. That would take 27 days. That would take 27 days. And then more than likely, regardless of where we go, we would be 2 jumps away from Bora. Now, whether or not that's close enough to get the communication to start the quest line, I don't know. How many days is this to travel? 27, 34, that's a lot. I mean, in theory, we'd get all our mechs back by then, though. What's the repair time here? That's actually not too bad for this conflict zone. I've seen way worse. I mean, I guess I'm just going to go to Truth. I mean... It sounds like a promising name. May not be any contracts here. Again, I can't make that assessment from this far away, but I want to head this direction, so... Alternatively, we could jump to Lee, see if there's anything interesting there, and then move on. Yeah, I'll do that. I mean, we have money. Why not? Before we go, though, is there any interesting pilots? There's nobody here. All right, cool. Yeah, let's go to Lee, see what's there. That'll kill some time. We have plenty of money, so I'm not worried about that. Just need to get our mechs repaired. Okay. Start off in the barracks. Still no pilots to hire, unfortunate. Okay. I'm fairly certain we've been here before. So, nothing too exciting. I mean, the Archer's here, but the Trebuchet has been proving to be a disappointment, so I'm not so sure how good the AI is with these LRM systems. But more importantly, let's see what's in here. So, starting off, not seeing what I'm looking for. Ballistic weapon. Nada. Energy weapons. Some quality 2 PPCs, but we already have a couple of those. Quality 2 has small lasers. Hey, we could upgrade the Warhammer to have higher quality small lasers. So exciting. You know what? What the hell? I'll buy one. They're not that expensive. And then missile systems. Oh, there we go. I'll buy all 4 of these because we could probably use them. Kind of ominous to see Capella in conflict zone for the Capellans. Yeah, the Capellans don't have a good time pretty much in any time period. And I did look it up. Yeah, this is actually their borders for this time period. It gets much worse during the Fourth Succession War. Like, it shrinks down to, I don't know, like about here. Cut all this stuff up in the top off. All that gets taken in the Fourth Succession War. So they really get squeezed even harder in the future. All right, let me take a look here at the market. So I think we looked through most of the equipment. We were in the missile systems. We found some quality 2 SRM-6s, which I bought because we could use them. Out of curiosity, do I have anything to sell? It seems like I do. Energy weapons, yeah, large laser. I always sell these quality 0 stuff because I just don't think they're worth keeping a hold of. It's not that hard to get a quality 1 item, so not really worth keeping any of this stuff around. And AC-10. Okay, that'll do. Alright, let me go to the battle mechs here. So the Kintara is still being worked on. When will it be done? In 8 days. So we do have the possibility of upgrading its SRM-6, its other one, to a quality 2. The Warhammer, we already have that Artemis system, so it doesn't really matter if we do that. Come to think of it, I guess a Centurion is the only other thing that we have that uses SRM-6s. Because a Thunderbolt, yeah, Thunderbolt uses LRM-15. Quick Draw uses an SRM-4, which we still are using. Yeah, I don't think anything else can use an SRM-6 outside of the Kintaro. And the Warhammer, which we already have a better system with. So, yeah, let's just upgrade the Centurion while we're at it. Those SRM-6s will prove useful in the future, though, so I'm not too worried about it. We do have another one of these Artemis systems, but we'd have to have one more ton to play with, so I'll use that somewhere else in the future. Okay, 4 days, start work. Centurion's been a very effective mech for us. We'll probably be sticking holding on to this for quite some time. Hey, just from sentimental value, we might keep a hold of it because it was the mech that they started us with. Okay, I think we're pretty much good to go, so let's get out of here. And I think we're still going to go to... Oh, well, now we can see contracts, so Truth would not be the place to go. Alright, so we have Demolition Contract, Warzone Contract, Assassination Contract, Demolition Contract, Assassination Contract. I think I'm going to go to here, out of the group. I think my favorite so far is the Defense Contracts. I think Warzone Contracts might be good too. I'm going to go here, and we're going to try out a Warzone Contract so I can remind myself what exactly the objectives are when you do one of those. So 20 days, we should have a good chunk of our mechs back by then. As a matter of fact, I think we're going to have all of our mechs back because I think the one that was the longest was 33 days, and we spent 13 days traveling to Lee and then 20 days to here, so it should be perfect. If I remember correctly, the Capellans get dunked on so badly for a couple different reasons. They're kind of the ones that start the Succession Wars, if I remember correctly. And also, out of the bunch, they're the ones that have the least industry. Industrially speaking, they're behind the other factions. I think House Steiner is one of the most industrially strong, and then House Merrick, I think, is pretty good too from that standpoint. House Merrick also had the benefit of not getting dunked on because the Capellans were getting dunked on so hard, and they have them to their right. So House Merrick is in a good position also because they didn't take a lot of damage. But I hope I'm remembering some of those reasons right. Okay, so we do have this pending transmission. I'd like to hear what it is. I expected it to be Liao. We're trying to improve our relationship with them because we're in their space. So the Duchess of all that stuff. This message is sent on behalf of Duchess Karis So, ruler of the Sarna Commonalities, Duchy of that thing. As the representative of the Duchy, I vouch for my constituents day in and day out. Over the last few years, the local residents have grown restless and insolent, despite my steady rule, and the people have been frequently calling for appeals to any political issue I weigh in on. The Duchy of such things is my hereditary fiefdom. Having been in my family for centuries, despite my ability to overrule any of my people's requests, it breaks my heart to see them question my judgment. I want you to enforce my will on a particularly prickly world. The people need a reminder of what I am capable of and what it means to be obedient to me, and thus the celestial wisdom, may he live forever. The rebels in question have taken up arms on the world of Bora. As all good Capellan citizens know, in 2366, the leaders of the Duchy of Liao, Tigadov Grand Union, Sarna Supremacy, Capellan Commonality, Sian Commonwealth, and St. Ives Mercantile League met on this world to form our beloved Capellan Confederation. So yeah, the Capellan Confederation used to be made up of many smaller states. We cannot allow the rebels to pervert the symbolism. As a concrete example of the wages of disobedience, I would ask you to locate the rebels' base and raze it to the ground. So we get 2 LRM-15s and 10 single heat sinks as a reward, as well as some money and reputation. Okay. So that's the thing. I definitely will do that. I don't think it will affect any other faction's reputation because we're pretty much killing Capellan peasants, it sounds like. Although I expect those Capellan peasants to be fairly well armed. At least they'll have a horde of vehicles if if the rest of this game has been any evidence. All right. So all our battle mechs are back and ready to go. So where did the Warhammer end up on the armor scale? 416 versus the Grasshopper's 416. So we're actually equal there. The main thing the Grasshopper has is a little bit more maneuverability in the form of jump jets, but other than that, pretty good. Let me go ahead and sort this a little bit so I know where things are, because this game likes to move things around on me. I think these are our heaviest mechs at the moment. And our 55-ton mechs. There are 50-ton mechs up there. And there we go. Actually, we're in order now. So these are our heavies. And we're down to our mediums, which carries over down into here. Actually, this is not quite in order. There we go. And then we have one light mech. Okay. Let us take a look at that contract. This is lower difficulty, so I don't know how much drop tonnage we're going to get. Unfortunately, the Warzone contract is House Davian, where we're trying to improve the relations with the Capellans. I mean, let me just remind myself where we're at. So House Davian is not quite maxed out because we've been doing some contracts against them, but they're still at the highest point of negotiation points, where we have finally gotten House Liao into a +1. We started -1 with them. House Krita hates me, but we're not going to be in their space, I think, for quite a while, so I don't really care. And then House Steiner kind of likes me as well. So I feel like I might have to end up taking this. Unless this is not against... Yeah, of course it's going to be against the Capellans. Alright. And this is, of course, going to be against House Davian. Alright, so this is going to end up being the demolition contract, which I'm not sure I'm a big fan of. I guess it's better than a raid contract. Raid contracts tend to be pretty dicey. Alright, we found a facility on the planet producing steel and, amongst other things, mech armor. Go and destroy it. Make sure there's nothing left to rebuild from. Okay. So we do have one extra point now that they like us a little bit more. So we have 7 points in total to use. We can put all that into salvage shares if we so choose. I probably will do so. At least not all of it. Maybe that many. And then we'll put 2 into damage coverage because sometimes we need that. What's our drop weight? 230? Okay. I think that's what we're going to go with. So we're not going to get paid a whole lot here, but maybe we get some good salvage out of this. Alright, I'll accept it as is. I definitely feel like you get more money out of the salvage shares than you would just by taking money. If you have a lot of points, then obviously I would have maxed that out. But alright, let's go ahead and accept this. Alright, so our previous loadout is a little too heavy. The easiest way to get this on the road would be just downgrade the Kintaro to a Phoenix Hawk. That would do it. Or we could downgrade the Quick Draw to something like the Centurion. I think I like the idea of downgrading this to the Phoenix Hawk. We might have to change our pilots around, but I'm good with that. Phoenix Hawk's been pretty effective, and I don't mind so much if it gets beat up. Oh, no, I'm bad at math, apparently, so we need to drop another 10 tons, huh? Well, we do need a 50-ton mech, then. Or we need to drop this down to a 55-ton mech. Alright, let me rethink that, then. What I probably am going to end up having to do... Alright, let me do this instead. Let me put the Kintaro back in there. Let me drop my weight down. So, maybe the Shadowhawk? So, that gets us within 5 tons. If we drop this down to a 50-ton mech, we'll be right there. So, I guess a Centurion, because that's going to be our next best. That's not a bad loadout, so 2 heavy mechs, 2 medium mechs. I do pretty well with the Shadowhawk, so I like that. I'll go with that. I kind of wanted to try out the Warhammer, but we just don't have the weight for it. And I think this loadout is a lot better. I lose my long range capability, but we gain in speed. Okay.
target is an industrial complex marked on your tactical display. Our employer wants it gone, and we aim to please. Light that complex up like a New Year's celebration, Commander.
I'm surprised that it's in front of me. Usually we see it off to one side.
Target acquired.
Focus target received, Commander.
Yeah, let's please kill that. Hopefully it's dead before it gets too close. Yeah, there we go. I hate those things.
Target destroyed.
Okay.
Target acquired.
Target identified. Bring it down. Leave nothing left for them to salvage.
Okay, we got an enemy mech inside the building area. What do we got here?
Target acquired.
Let's go after those legs.
Target destroyed.
Alright. Don't want the spider getting in behind me like that.
Target acquired. Destroyed.
Bastard. Alright, something's hit me from behind.
Incoming missile. Target destroyed.
Alright. Got most of the riffraff taken care of.
Keep on smashing. They are hurt, but our contract calls for us to wipe them off the face of this system.
Alright.
Incoming missile. Target acquired.
Ow! Oh, we got light mechs coming in behind us. Alright, I'm gonna focus on the light guys here.
Destroyed. Target acquired.
Okay, assassin. Oh, shit. Ah, whiffed it. You cut that out.
Target destroyed.
Trying to stop them from getting in behind me like they're trying to do. What's in behind me? Get rid of you. There we go. Let's get back on. Cut it out. I'm coming for you, buddy. Goodbye. Alright, let me see if I can help my buddies here.
Destroyed.
Oh shit, that one guy's gonna eat that explosion.
The area is down to half capacity. Keep going.
Let's just walk through some buildings here. Alright. Alright. Start walking through buildings over here. How are we doing on ammo? 356.
Our payday is nearly here, Commander. Just keep smashing.
Target destroyed. Target destroyed.
Oh, something just hit me hard. Where? Ah, behind me.
Target acquired.
No, that's not it. There it is.
Target is down.
Target destroyed. Incoming missile. Target acquired.
You die. Alright. There we go.
You completely destroyed this area. Great work. Best get to the evac point now, before more reinforcements arrive.
It was you that was hitting me so hard, bastard.
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
Alright, we can get out of here now. Oh, that extract point is way far away. Take that. Alright. Yeah,
Enemy destroyed.
I agree with you on the buildings looking a little too generic. Got another medium mech. It's another Lancer mech. So I'm gonna try and just get out of here because I don't know if these enemies ever stop coming. I assume no, but I've never really pushed it to test it. Quick Draw is taking some serious damage.
Taking heavy damage.
Yeah, I get that, boys. Cut it out.
Dropship on approach, Commander. Prepare for extraction.
Target acquired.
I mean, we killed a lot of stuff. So, I don't know how good the salvage is going to be, but... Okie dokie. So total payout ends up to being 1 million, so I have a feeling we took quite a bit of damage there. Can't take the cicada, but the blackjack, interestingly enough, is not that many shares. So I'll take that. Let me do value. There we go. I'm gonna take these quality 2 medium lasers, no doubt. Because I need some. We're gonna have to not take one of them, but that's okay. We'll take the blackjack, which is a sellable thing for later. Okay. I think that'll do it. Looking through the pile to make sure we're not missing out on anything. Okay. So we did end up taking 382,000 damage. I mean, you guys can see this now, so I don't really have to read it out, but 345 is what we got insured for, so most of it was covered. As far as the damage goes, Captain Starnes may have lost AC-10. I really hope he didn't, but we'll see. Thunderbolt didn't take a lot of damage, so I expect him to be fine. The Quick Draw lost an arm, so probably lost at least one weapon system, which is unfortunate. Okay. Oh, I meant to change my pilots around, and I never did. Oh well. Guess it is what it is. At least Captain Starnes, I guess, leveled up to the highest level of the energy weapons that they could. Alright.